Why not come up with a football team? Why not try and do it for real? Oh my God!
So go and embarrass them now.
Some of them I won't be getting a Christmas card from.
We're back, all right?
But if you want to see bad, man, you'll learn, innit?
The beating.
God, man, how many more times?
When I'm at my best here, I'm a whole different animal.
Good football, lad. Shout! Ow! Ow!
Scully, 5 minutes from coming on. Simple as that. It needs me involved.
Wash and Go, supporting Blood Brothers.
Welcome to FanPark Live. Arsenal come to Old Trafford, get a 2-2 draw. Is that the Gooners dropping points tonight? Have Manchester United gained a point? Some of the craziest football and defending I have ever seen in my life. Nemanja Matic. One second. I'm doing my intro. Shush. Yeah. Jesus Christ. This guy, he loves to try. Your intro will come in a minute, Have Hope. Keep your beak shut.
Do you know what he just said?
I know what he just said. Right? I know what he said. But listen, I want to know what you got to think. Matic gets man of the match given to him by a scouser. Maybe he's trolling everybody. Pogba dropped again. Should Torreira have been sent off the pitch? We want to hear from you on 0203 606 0315. I'm joined by Have Hope. He is in the house. And of course, Adam Childs. What's happening, gentlemen?
Yo. Wait, why? Okay, can I just say a quick opening thing? And this just to throw everything through there. Like I said, and Aubameyang, why don't they start together? What is his obsession?
We'll jump into that in a moment. We'll go into some topics
Play them
in a
both
minute.
together.
We'll jump into that in a moment. Terry acting like he won. What?
They were,
What?
they were expecting to be sad, man.
I told you, I don't have any expectations to win any more games. Thus, there is no
You
disappointment.
should always have hope.
Anita.
You know what my dad would say if he heard you say that? He'd go, cunt. Just like, yeah, sorry, bad joke, mate.
Wow.
Listen. So
Anti-feminist.
anti-feminist.
Yeah.
You can't say CONC. We live in a post-Me Too world. You've got to change your view. This is not
Why?
1995.
What are we doing?
No.
What are we
This is
doing?
not 1995, man.
Oh, man.
You know.
Anyway, yeah, if it was why are your glasses from the 90s anyway?
Leave my shades. Wait, Javan, stop laughing back there, man. I can hear you laughing from back there. Like, guys, I wear shades. That's what I do. Stop insulting me for wearing shades.
Bruv.
Yes, I wear shades indoors. Yeah.
I've never seen this guy's eyes.
The joke has been run out. It's not funny anymore. It's not funny.
see his brain, please go.
Do you have any eyes? And what do you wear shades? I've heard the same joke for the last few months. I get it. It's what I am. Just accept it. Bloody hell, man. Okay, it's what I am. Okay, at least say a new joke. At least just say a new joke.
Trigger.
Say a new joke, man.
This guy's
Do you know what's funny? What I would say about Have Hope, though, I've had a lot of people message me privately. A lot of people were DMing me
What's going on?
and sending me emails. Honestly. And they're like, can you not have Hope back on the show again? We do not want him back.
Which is very harsh, actually.
That's so harsh.
It's not harsh. It's not harsh. What I mean by that is...
A DM, a private
No, but
message
you know
to
what?
get someone
10
thrown
people
off.
to say the same.
More than 10. Honestly, bruv. It's a lot of people, right? If I got £1 every time someone told me that, I'd be a rich man. But the point is that we won't just get rid of somebody because they don't share your opinions. That is what an echo chamber is, and that's not what UFF is about. That's not what my channel, Football Terrace, is about, and my show, FanPark Live, is not about that. So we will have him here, as always. But I'm gonna, Javern, can you capture this for us, please? Hey! Gonna go to you first, Adam, about this game, mate.
Yeah.
You were kind of conservative before this match. You were hoping for a piece of, a Jose masterclass might come in. You weren't overly gassed. You weren't one of these Arsenal fans that was overly confident because of your sort of 19-game, now 20-game unbeaten run. Do you feel disappointed to not walk away with 3 points, though?
Yes, I
Why?
do, because we had the game in our hands twice and we dropped the ball twice.
So I think had we not been in a winning position, or had you been leading and we managed to scrape a 2-2 in the way that, I don't know, United did, I'd probably feel that was just desserts. But the stats don't lie. I think using the eye test, if you look at the game, I think a draw is a fair result, but I do feel a little bit disappointed at the fact that we didn't manage to take the win home.
Yeah. Have hope. 3 of the goals tonight, 2 for Arsenal and 1 of Man United, were all down to atrocious mistakes from defenders and from David De Gea as well. Do you think it was a fair result to end in a draw? Do you think the mistakes almost, we said it here, like Man United made a mistake, within a minute, like Arsenal go and make a very similar mistake up the other end. It kind of evened the game out, right?
No, I think it was a fair result, but I think what Mourinho did, and this is what I said like when I was previewing the game, as in, if the game was a fast game, an open game, United gets sliced open. I think his setup and his structure was correct to nullify Arsenal as best as he could. Apart from the right back Dalot, that was the only weak point that they had. But Arsenal found it very hard to open up United, and because it wasn't an open game, Arsenal couldn't run, and Arsenal, they liked to run. But United, with all the men they had behind it, forced it into a much slower game, a sluggish game. It was bitty. I could just say as Arsenal's positivity and what they do so well was pretty much nullified by how he set up. So I just think that this was Arsenal's best chance to win at Old Trafford. The game was there. Bad finishing, some bad decision making. So imagine if he had actually gone for a more open game. He didn't play
what
by.
What bad finishes were? I mean, there was a great save from David De Gea from a shot from, I think, Aubameyang. Apart from that,
Mkhitaryan.
So one good opportunity missed.
Aubameyang, he should score. Good save by Thingy, you should score.
Why should you score?
From that far out, as good a finisher as you are. And also, he's extremely good at the box.
But David De Gea, although he made a mistake tonight, David De Gea is renowned for making saves that, generally speaking, the amount of how many times a season do you go, how did David De Gea do that? We just did it against Young Boys a week or so ago. He pulls off saves like that, game in, game out, week in, week out.
No. But still, Aubameyang in the box, as good as David De Gea is, Aubameyang in the box from that far out, you expect him to score because he's one of the best goal scorers in the world.
If I'm honest, I'm surprised that De Gea even managed to make that save.
Yeah,
because I think
this
notion of him being the undisputed best goalkeeper in the world needs to die today.
He's not.
It needs to die right now because he's not.
He's not. Stegen is better than him. Oblak is better than him. In my view, Stegen and Oblak are better than him.
Well, you guys can give us a call on David De Gea. We know he made a mistake today. 0203 606 0315. Is he no longer the best goalkeeper
and he
in
never
the
made
world?
Undisputed.
Every single shot against him at the World Cup was a goal.
I get that, but the point I would make is there was one mistake by him. You know, if the finishes are that deadly, you just said about Aubameyang, right? He should have finished that, right? Well, if the opportunities against you are finished properly, then it isn't the goalie's fault, according to your definition. Have hope.
Which was what I say again. I don't know.
So if Aubameyang should have scored that opportunity, and David De Gea has no business saving it, that means you could have, say, 6 or 7 shots against you, like at a World Cup. And if the finishers, the strikers or the attackers, strike the ball in the right way, like you just put it, David De Gea has no business making any saves.
No.
Based on your logic.
Based on the shots that were put at him, I think that David De Gea, especially in the Morocco game, he should have made those 2 saves. Those 2 goals that Morocco scored, he should have made those 2 saves. In my view,
I thought we made one mistake at the World Cup, and that was from the fumbled shot from Ronaldo. Other than that, I looked at the goals, and they're goals that all goalkeepers concede. He still pulled. I mean, that tournament, you know, he didn't pull off any of his magnificent, wondrous saves. He's had a bit of a tough pitch. But the one thing I would dispute about what you've said is I don't think anybody's ever the undisputed best.
I think in the way that
Neuer was the undisputed best for.
Who?
Manuel Neuer was the undisputed best keeper in the world.
But I don't think he was.
Of course he was.
And when I say that, I mean in the way that people talk about them. If you were to ask 10 football fans who's the best goalkeeper in the world, 9 out of 10 of them would say it's De Gea. And I think there's a perception amongst football fans that De Gea is the undisputed best goalkeeper in the world, and there's no way anyone's getting near to him. I don't think that's the truth.
Yeah, well, I think he is the best goalie in the world, but that whole thing. But there are lots of goalies that are in and around and on his level, and then form comes into it. Because right now, I don't think this season he's been in the greatest form. Equally, it's he's got like one of the worst defensive structures and teams that he's playing in. So I don't. But
even then, that gives him a chance to showcase how good a goalkeeper he is.
Because he does that because he pulls off saves that are just magnificent.
He does.
The opportunities leaked against him are massively high. They really, really are. We've got any calls ready, Javern? Let's take the first call.
Actually, Handanovic is, I would say he pulls off just as crazy saves as they do.
Hello,
Very
welcome
underrated.
to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Guess who it is, Mohammed?
Hello, Mohammed. How you doing,
First
mate?
caller, wow.
Yeah, I'm alright, man. What about
Good,
yourself?
good. Yeah, we're okay, mate.
Yeah, well, we're cool, man. Mohammed, how you doing, man?
How are you doing, Hafab? You alright?
Man, Mohammed, I am great. Merry Christmas in advance.
Say that again.
Merry Christmas in advance.
I don't celebrate Christmas, but
Oh,
very,
okay.
very good Christmas to you.
Happy holidays then.
Okay.
Alright.
Go
on, Terry,
brought up
speak.
this subject. David De Gea is no longer the undisputed best goalkeeper in the world. What's your opinion on that?
Do you know what, man? What the fuck was he doing there, man? I mean, you know what, man? You have to catch the ball, man. Yeah, but it's all. You know what? He makes 2 saves in it, so I don't complain. You know what? Anything without a loss will do in the game, so leave it on that matter.
Yeah, I get that completely. There's a comment here from Del Boy Trotter who says Edison conceded 2 goals in 3 months from open play.
Okay.
But what I put that again is that because he's putting off like world class saves, or is that
And
because
also-
City don't concede many opportunities?
Yeah, and then they control the possession of the ball a lot. He makes
Yeah.
saves, but again, you can't rate
Yeah, but
anything
look
because
at
he
our
doesn't make any
defense.
saves.
Look at City's defense. That's what you have to understand.
Yeah, exactly. And I think all those when you debate these things, I think all those nuances have to be
Yeah, of course.
took into account. But the overall game for you today, Mohammed, what was your viewpoints and opinions on Man United's display?
Do you know what, man? We started off well, you know. I mean, we kept pressing for 15 minutes, and then from that, when that first goal went in, yeah, do you know what? I just said, you know what? Close the eyes. Shall I watch it or shall I not watch it? Because that moment, I thought, you know what? Press the panic button. Then we came, and then Martial equalized. So then, I went over the top. But then, Rojo. I've told you about Rojo, haven't I? Before in, I don't know, one of the videos. Then I'll tell you how shifty and dodgy that guy is.
Mate, we were sitting here talking, and I thought he was having a really good game up until that moment. But
But he's dodgy something about him. You know what I mean?
Like a lot of Man United's defenders, they can be brilliant for a whole game. They can be brilliant for a number of games, but they all have those brain fart moments and mistakes in them. Other than actually Bailly, I thought Bailly had a brilliant game today.
I thought he was man of the match.
Yeah, well, between him and Matic, I think they were talking about on BT.
Yeah, I'd say Bailly was.
But interesting one I want in terms of Matic's biggest. The biggest thing he's judged on as a DM nowadays, the modern day way, is interceptions. Now, Man United completed 19 interceptions today, which is huge. I don't know how many he completed of that, but he looked like he broke up a lot of play today, which is what he's there to do. So I think him and Bailly were absolutely brilliant. But in terms of a draw, though, from your perspective as a Man United fan, it doesn't really help United. They sit in 8th position. Now, 8 points away from a top 4 place. Do you think that top 4 race is over?
Gone, bro. Finito. Khalas. Khalas in my language means finished. No way we're getting that top 4. More chance me winning the lottery than us getting top 4. That's the chances.
And you can't do the
odds are
lottery.
stacked
You
against us.
can't do the lottery because that's haram, right?
Yeah, but still, I'm saying if I was going to do it, there's more chance of me winning the lottery than me getting top 4. Even if we won this game, we still would have got top 4. The Arsenal, Spurs, they're ahead of us.
Yeah.
Liverpool, Chelsea, even Chelsea they won today, haven't they?
Yeah.
No,
No, Chelsea
they
lost 2-1.
bro.
Wow. All right. Okay, but
Blame
even
Morata.
these
It's
teams are
Morata's fault,
ahead
man.
of us, you know. Go on.
That's it, man. That's it. Mo, really appreciate your call, mate. Thanks very much.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Respect. Have a good day, man. Have a good night.
Cheers, mate.
All right,
Thank
bye.
you.
No, Hazard
Javern,
is
thanks
still
for
top
capturing
4.
that,
He's
mate.
still top 4.
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you, Javern.
Let's do a few-
And stop bad-mouthing Hazard.
Let's
man.
do a
Back
few
there.
comments here. Obviously, just an update on the other results tonight, in case you didn't know. Liverpool beat Burnley 3-1 away from home. Everton drew at home with Newcastle 1-1.
Oh, that's a horrible
Fulham
result.
Leicester 1-1.
Nice.
Wolverhampton Wanderers smashed Chelsea 2-1.
Come on.
Smashed.
Smashed
No.
Chelsea 2-1.
No. Can I just add to that score?
Well, one
very
second to the
quickly?
scores, and
Okay.
Spurs smashed Southampton 3-1.
Well done.
Of course, as
I
well. But
see
yeah,
what you did
Wolverhampton
there.
Wanderers, promoted team,
Woo.
smashed Chelsea tonight.
We're absolutely struggling before.
Eden Hazard, not in the game.
Wow.
What a brick.
Can I respond?
What a brick.
Can I respond?
No, I'm
Nah.
not asking you a question.
Nah.
No. Okay.
We're talking about United Arsenal. Sorry.
Just give me 1 minute to respond. Just 1 minute to respond.
Yeah,
Just
go on,
one
say,
minute.
go on, say one thing.
Hazard is still top 4 in the world.
Hang on, you
If
said
you-
top 3 before. Why are you
Can I land?
changing it now?
Let me just give him
Why-
just give him my
No,
answer.
I don't
hate
want
this
your
guy.
point.
Just give me
Why has
the-
it gone from top 3 to top 4? Why has he dropped down a
Why,
place?
why are you moving the goalpost, bro?
Who has dethroned him, defrocked him? Who has done that?
Neymar. So it's Messi, Marcelo, Neymar, and then you've
No,
got
don't
Hazard.
bite, don't bite,
Joshua.
don't bite,
And
don't
it's
bite,
literally
don't
by
bite,
this.
don't
It's
bite,
literally
don't
wafer
bite,
thin.
don't bite.
It's wafer. Literally next week I
Don't
can
bite.
put him top 3. But basically,
Don't bite.
if you watch
When you
the
said
game,
wafer thin, I nearly said like your hairline, and I shouldn't say.
Yeah, relax, man.
Mine's the same, bro. It's going. It's running away from me.
Jeez, look, all right, fine. You know, because my whole hairline, it's a personal thing for me. So you know, you really got below the dots.
What do you mean personal? Oh, you.
Yeah.
I thought you meant you make it like that. Like,
No,
you said personal.
no. Yeah, it's no. Wait. I don't want to divert off what I'm saying.
Sorry,
No.
sorry.
First of all,
Sorry.
Don't blame it on Hazard. Hazard did everything he could in the game. He is trying to assist for a dude called Morata, who is a bona fide brick. Why is Sarri starting a dude called Morata? If Giroud was starting in the game, or thinking started the game, Chelsea win at 2-3-0. And all of you stats merchants out there, Hazard probably gets your 2 little assists that make him something like that. Don't look at stats.
But
Don't be a stats
okay,
merchant.
okay. But
That's what I'm saying. Who cares?
Just one thing, real quick, right? On that, just you just had said that De Gea is no longer undisputed best because of goals he concedes and mistakes he makes. But then you're not taking into consideration the idiots and the team in front of him. But Hazard, you give him a get out of jail free card because he's playing with bricks. That is hypocrisy. We've got some Arsenal fans to get on
I
the line
believe
now.
that's what you
Capture it
call.
for us, please, Jay Byrne.
Capture it.
I've had a microphone to drop. I would,
I never had the chance.
Hello,
to respond.
welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
We need those sound effects.
Oh shit, I'm straight on. Sorry, I was waiting for someone to pick up and ask me what my team I support.
Yes. What, you're an Arsenal fan?
What team do you support?
I support United, man.
Oh,
I called the
United
other
fan.
day.
Okay,
I was talking to Adam, yeah.
Give me your viewpoints on today's game. 2-2 draw. Do you think Man United were lucky? Do you think Arsenal dropped 2 points? Give me your viewpoints.
I think both teams were lucky, to be honest, because both of those defenses were a shambles. Like a lot of people will be talking about how United should have lost and Mourinho got lucky or whatsoever. But I think I was actually quite pleased with how we played at the beginning of the game because we were actually pressing. Like I haven't seen that in a United team in how long. Like he picked the 3 fastest players up front in our team and he just told them to press and they actually did it, which was quite good. And I think Bailly and Rojo were quite good. Obviously, Rojo made that mistake, but other than that, I think both of them worked well
Can I
together.
ask you a question? Maybe it's an unpopular opinion, right?
Oh,
I thought United were playing okay as soon as the 2 substitutions, I think predominantly that killed the game for Man United.
Who?
Lukaku was one of them.
Yeah.
Offered nothing.
Yeah.
And then I felt a lack of energy from Man United when Paul Pogba came on.
Yeah, I think when we took Lingard off, I think that was a really bad decision to take Lingard off of Pogba. It just slowed down our entire midfield and front three because Lingard brings a lot of pace, a lot of movement. And if you put on Fellaini and you put on Pogba, obviously they're two, quite good players, but they both of them are not exactly the most pacey people in midfield. I think what should have really happened is we should have bought Matic up. I know he was having a great game, but if we want to make a change in midfield, it should be done in midfield. We shouldn't be taking our forward players off 4 midfielders. It just didn't seem right in my head. And you could see it for the next sort of 20 minutes. Like, we just seem to slow down. We're passing at the back because we don't have options up front. It was really strange. And it's happened, 2 games in a row now? Anytime we bring Lingard off, our team just completely slows down.
Wait, can I just jump in? I mean, can I just ask, what does Rashford really contribute to the team?
He contributes a lot, mate. Have you not seen his stats? He's doing all the running for United. He's running at players. He's pressing. He's actually creating chances. He's doing so much for the team. What does Hazard do for Chelsea?
Boom.
Wait. When did Hazard come into it? Don't let me respond because that is below the belt. I didn't even mention
one of the
Hazard in
best
this
players
thing.
on
Why
our
are you
pitch
bringing
today,
Hazard into the whole
and he
thing?
was last week as well. Like, Rashford puts in so much work for United. You just don't see it because you don't see the ball go out the back of the net.
Why are you
And
bringing
you know
Rashford
what?
and Hazard
Bear
in
in
the same
mind,
sentence?
he wasn't even watching the game. He was watching the Chelsea
I was
game.
watching Bobo.
So he doesn't even have the
you're
right.
such an
He doesn't
idiot
have the
then.
right.
Like, why are you wearing sunglasses then? Just take them off and watch the game. Like, what's your
Take them
problem?
off and watch the game.
First of
I
all,
have no
wait,
hope
wait,
for
wait,
this guy, bro.
Oh,
He's
can I
talking about a game he hasn't
Can I
seen. Like,
respond?
what's
Can
this
I
guy?
respond?
Go on.
Can I respond? Please, thank
Go
you.
on.
Don't you ever put Rashford in the same sentence as Eden Hazard again. That is disgraceful, and that shows your lack of football
Don't you
knowledge.
ever ask me what Rashford is doing for United, bro. You don't even watch the games.
Can I respond? I have been watching United's games. Rashford
You
is
didn't watch today's
average.
game, so how can you
Rashford
ask me what
is-
Rashford was
Oh my
doing?
gosh. Can I respond?
Watch the game and
Can
come
I
back and tell me what he was
Can
doing.
I respond?
Nah.
Can I respond?
Nah.
Thank you. Rashford is talented, but he's average. Hence why I said I don't really know what he contributes to the team. Don't tell me running.
Isn't that not
What does he contribute technically, attacking-wise, to the team?
pressing?
Okay, what do you want him to contribute?
Because by the way,
No. Let him fall into his own trap. Let him fall into
Okay,
his own trap.
If you want me to bring up a big point right now, the last time we had this conversation about Ronaldo and Messi.
Stats are not important.
What
No
do you
stats.
want him to contribute?
Come on.
He needs to be better.
So the
on
last
ball.
time we
I
had
hate
this
you so
conversation
much. You're an
about
idiot.
running,
He's good on the ball.
No, he's not. He needs to be. Basically, when you look at what Martial does, hence why you know why I
They're
brought the
different
point.
players, though.
If you
They're
brought
different
Mata
players.
on instead of Rashford, Mata will do it.
Can I say something to you?
Rashford keeps losing the ball
Can
and
I-
making
can I-
bad decisions.
can I say something to you?
Simple as that.
I'm not going to rate Hazard as a good player because he's a wide man and he can't cross like David Beckham. Different players, bro.
He's an
Different
inside, He's an
players.
inside forward, man. What are we talking about?
He's a wide man.
oh yeah, that is the thing with Chelsea fans. You keep changing
My
Hazard's
point- no,
position
but
depending on how he played. Like sometimes he's a CAM, sometimes he's an inside forward, sometimes he's a winger. Like you can't even decide what position this guy plays. Like what does he do for Chelsea? You can't even decide where to put him.
Oh, if you actually watch the Chelsea games, he's
I don't watch Chelsea games because I'm not a Chelsea fan. But I'm not talking about Chelsea right now, am I?
Okay, let's focus. You brought up Hazard. I didn't bring up Hazard.
Yeah, you brought up Rashford in a game that you didn't watch.
I was watching the flipping game.
He didn't. He
I
didn't.
was watching the game. No,
He didn't.
Why is this guy on the show? You didn't watch the game. Take off your sunglasses and watch something for once.
Okay. Can I respond? Rashford is a very talented youth,
But he's average.
but he is an average player. And for the games I've been seeing for United, especially in this game, I'm like a lot of running.
In this game, but you didn't watch this game. In this game, he was one of our best players.
I'm actually glad that you think Rashford's average because that means he could become world class because this guy thinks Cristiano Ronaldo is average.
Exactly,
So your
bro.
opinion means
I
nothing.
said that. I
When
said
you
Cristiano
say-
is a decent football player.
But decent and average mean the same thing. The
Well,
definition of decent and average
He's
is pretty
slightly
similar,
above
right?
average. Okay, slightly above average. That's fine.
So
What's wrong with that?
if Ronaldo's only slightly above average and you're saying Rashford's is average, but you're saying that's an insult. Bang average. Average is average.
No. There's bang average. There's average.
Why are we
there's
even
above
giving him
average.
airtime? Get him off.
No, because I like giving people rope to hang themselves
Terry,
with.
can I point something out?
Yeah,
Can
go
I point
on.
something out?
Go on.
In the debate you had with Have Hope about Ronaldo and Messi, he said the thing about Messi is he does a lot of running, but right now, because Rashford is average, because all he contributes is
There
running.
you go. There you
So,
go.
I mean-
you know what? This caller.
Do you know what?
Well done.
The interesting
No,
thing
I'm
about
clapping for the
interesting
guy 'cause he
thing-
knows what he's talking
The
about.
interesting thing about Rashford as well is that he's one of those again. At the moment, I think Pogba's playing awfully, and most people put that down. And most people put that down to partly the relationship, but then also the system that he's playing in because Jose plays dinosaur fossil football. But yet, certain people don't afford those same excuses for players such as Rashford. Rashford is just dead and average, and that's where all these YouTubers that want to become superstars. When they're giving criticism that they don't truly believe in, when they're just throwing shade just because they're trying to get retweets and become popular,
Literal shade.
It ends up biting them in the backside because of their cowardice. Because they throw out these opinions and they have to twist their action. They're not giving their true beliefs, and then it comes back like you've just done to Have Hope here. You've bit him in the backside,
he's
and
a fool.
unfortunately,
I haven't actually.
you've actually been my favourite caller ever on FanPark Live
Yeah.
in
No,
12,
big man
13
thing.
months. Big man
Hey,
thing,
let's
best call
go.
ever.
Well done, man. It's lit, bro. Thank you for calling.
That's the truth hurts. I know
Yeah,
the truth
thank you,
hurts,
thank you,
man.
What?
Rashford isn't as good as people think he is. He's talented.
How good did I say he was? I didn't
Exactly.
say he
You
was
just
great.
said
I
he
didn't say he
impressed
was
him.
world
Okay,
class.
in the match
You said he's not world class. You came in to put me down a peg and say Rashford was bang average. We weren't even talking about Rashford being world class or anything. I was just saying Rashford was doing okay.
Okay is simply not good enough.
Shut
Alright?
up, man.
And
Shut
Martin-
up.
Hey,
Please,
just
let's
wait,
move
wait,
on.
wait,
Let's
wait,
move
wait,
on.
someone in the back, man. And my thing about this is that I just felt that Martin would have been a better option than Rashford in the game because Martial, I'm sorry, is United's best player, and the team should actually be built around Anthony
But
Martial.
Martial came off because he was injured.
Oh, no. What I'm saying is like in the first half, as in he should have started with Matt, and I think like Mata complementing Martial.
But
is far
Mata
better than
doesn't have
Rashford.
the pace to press the back line in the same way that.
And Mata
Rashford
doesn't play on the wing. If we played Mata, we would have had nothing on the right side. Rashford actually added something to the right side.
Wait, what did he add? What?
You would know if you had watched the game. Thanks.
Exactly.
Cheers, mate, brilliant call. Thank you very, very much. Do you know what I think with you, Have Hope, is that I understand you love technically gifted football players. That's why you, I don't know, everyone...
Oh,
you
no.
Hang on.
I'm not that narrow-minded, man. I'm not a guy that's like, oh my gosh, only if you dribble and you're good. Every person...
But you shut down. But every time I tell you things about a player, so in terms of, I think one of the big... You saw... we had this debate weeks ago, but the reason why I think that Martial's playing more is because I think he's working harder, and everything else he was doing technically was brilliant, and it's remained, but he's working harder. The reason he got injured today, well, for many Man United fans, true Man United fans, they'll hold him in an even higher esteem for. He got injured tracking back and chasing a man who was trying to attack, and that was something we weren't seeing from him. But when you like throw out nuances that are not, that are more your sort of gritty aspects of football, you seem to not want to congratulate players for having that grit, that determination, and that work rate. It's as if like
it should be a given. No, for me, like
no, it's
this
not.
is for
It's not
football.
a given.
Football
It's not a
is a technically skilled sport. Yes, there are many rules, but with my point was that in a guy like a Martial, yeah, I want you to trap back and everything, but you're our best player. I am focused and obsessed with improving your technical ability, because your technical ability will help us win games. You running up and down and being fit will not help us win games.
That's absolute rubbish. That's
nonsense.
absolute rubbish.
You're talking about it as if
Running will help.
It's nonsense.
Of
United
course
win
it will.
games.
Yes.
It's a component of the
Of
game,
course it
you
will.
clown. What are you talking
It's an
about?
aspect. It's not the most important thing.
But it's an aspect.
Hang on,
Good.
but nobody says it was the most important.
I
You're
think
making that up. You're saying
you put
that.
too much importance.
No, I
on
don't.
that.
When?
That's what I was saying.
But when have I done that? When have I
no,
done
no.
that?
When you said, oh no, I think basically Martial running is why he's back in the team. I'm like, what? So
No.
running
Okay.
more
No,
is
you
back
asked
in
me
the team?
why. No, the question was originally, and I'll go back to it, is why do you think Jose is playing him more now? Why was he in and out of the team? Because in Jose's system, he required you to run and work hard in those directions. You're asking a specific question about a certain manager's systems. I didn't say it was the most important aspect of all football or for all players, but for some managers' systems and for some positions on the pitch, you have to do that. And that's both attacking runs, intelligent runs, and defensive ones. Let's jump another call on the lines, please. J-Ron.
J-Ron.
This guy is a tactical genius. Somebody's giving you some praise, brother.
Oh, me.
Yeah. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Like 5 years.
Ramon.
Ramon, how you going, brother?
Ramon, yo, what's up, man?
What's happening?
Man, we're live. We're live,
Good.
man.
This guy's had way too much sugar, bro.
How are you feeling? After that game? Do you feel like Arsenal were unlucky to walk away with a draw, or do you think it was a fair result?
I'm disappointed, I'm actually disappointed.
As you should.
I came in, I actually predicted it would be 2-2, but on hindsight, I actually think we could have nicked it, man. Like, sloppy at the back, seconds after conceding. At 2-1, we should be seeing these games out. But as both teams are defensively awful at the moment, it was bound to happen that we were going to concede another goal.
It was like watching two boxers with no jaw.
Yeah.
Like they weren't being knocked down because the other man had great power. It's that they both got, it's like two Amir Khans in the ring together, two glass jaws tonight.
Actually, can I just ask Ramon very quickly? Why doesn't Wait, what is it? Oh God, come on, man, let's relax. Okay, why doesn't Emery start Lacazette and Aubameyang? I don't understand. Why doesn't he start them both together?
I wish I could tell you the answer, but my guess would be is keeping his trumps to savour later on in the game. The problem with playing them both at the start is that when you turn to your bench and you see the Nigerian Messi, you're not sure how he's going to play, as you were calling, by the way, not me.
He said the Nigerian. Relax. He said the Nigerian Messi. Ramon could continue.
Hang on.
Nigerian Messi.
Sorry,
Why are we doing this?
So a minute ago, you literally just disgustingly. You never see me have a go at callers, right? And I do. I'm joking. But you have a go at a caller for putting Rashford and Hazard's name into the same sentence.
Yep.
But you're happy for Messi and Iwobi to be compared together.
Speak on it.
I smell hippo shit again.
I've spoken to experts.
Terry,
coaches who said it
the
will
thing
be
is, you
for
have
the
to
next
talk the
Messi.
language of hate, otherwise you don't understand. That's the thing.
Ramon, sorry.
Sometimes you have to come down to his level.
I'm out.
And then you can have a conversation.
Get back in there, man. Ramon, continue.
Yeah, so but what I'm saying is, you never know how the Nigerian Messi, as you would call him, would come on the pitch and do. So when you play Lacazette and Aubameyang, if by 60, 70 minutes you get nothing from them, you're like, you're struggling to come up with a good enough option.
But
that's what I would assume, especially in a big game. That's what I would assume.
No. I mean, but my response to that is that this is becoming a very obvious pattern from Emery, which is that, okay, I start Aubameyang, I bring my trump card in the second half, I start Aubameyang, and I think this game, especially in the first half, it's called for having a very fast start. Because I think if Lacazette and Aubameyang were both playing, put a lot of pressure on United and got those few early goals, I think
there's a reason. I can give you a reason, but it's not one you're going to like.
What's that?
I think when you play Aubameyang and Lacazette, what you don't tend to get as much of is the tracking back, the running, and the defensive side. And in the second half of games, when Arsenal predominantly needed to go for games, because I think they've barely led at half time in any game. It's a little more doable, and you're going up against teams generally lesser.
Not even
teams,
barely. We haven't.
Generally, we haven't at all. Generally, lesser teams that maybe haven't got the forthrightness to go forward. And you saw a lot of space in the second half of Man United on counter attacks until we made those awful substitutions. So I think the rationale behind it is simply we may not be able to cope. He may look at it as in I need to have Iwobi and somebody else either side of either Aubameyang or Lacazette starting because I need their work defensively, which I understand because already Arsenal's defence is pretty shaky. To take away your wide men from tracking back and working hard defensively, they could conceivably open up that little bit more. So I think that could be that's just a rational reason or a logical reason as to why he's doing it that would make sense. Apart from that, I mean you've got two of the best strikers. Arsenal have got two of the best strikers in the world. You'd love to find a system that he could create with it. But the problem is most managers now play a system where you only have one striker.
Which is so annoying.
Exactly.
Man. So annoying. Like, why do you have to play one striker?
It's all you football hipsters that created that have hope. Sorry, Ramon, what are you saying, mate?
So the problem is for me as well is that Aubameyang out wide isn't as good as he is up top. So you're also taking a little bit away from Aubameyang when he has to do the tracking back when essentially you want him to be going forward and being the main vocal guy up top. Maybe having them close together, maybe like a 5-3-2, how we ended against
There we go.
Spurs, was one of the best I've seen Arsenal play. Partly because you had the wing backs doing the tracking back, and you had Lacazette and Aubameyang to go and do their thing up top. So, but we've got 4 games now which we should be looking to win, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do start seeing Aubameyang and Lacazette up top because. Like I said, it's a big game, and do you know what? The amount of times we've gone to Old Trafford and lost, no matter how bad Man United are at the time or how good we are at the time, the amount of times we've gone there and still lost, you have to look at it and say, okay, we beat Spurs, we drew Liverpool, we beat Manchester United. He's done what's needed. He brought on Lacazette and we got a goal. So obviously it's working. He brought on Lacazette against Tottenham. We scored 3 goals. So obviously him making them changes make something happen. The amount of times I'll like to see the stats when Aubameyang and Lacazette do start, how often we do score when someone else comes on, when them two both start on the pitch. I don't believe it will be that often.
No, for me,
my rationale.
I just feel that Arsenal are better placed to really try and cultivate a strike partnership because again, I grew up with strike partnerships. For me, one of the best strike partnerships I ever saw was Cole and York. You had Chiesa and Batistuta for Fiorentina, Del Piero, Trezeguet. So you have had some Bergkamp, Henry. I think that if you help cultivate, you don't have to be a slave to this whole one striker system. When you've got 2 quality strikers,
you got to make it work.
I think the issue with it is now I'm not tactically trained in football. 99% of football fans are not. I was listening to a few interesting debates about 3-5-2. That is probably the only formation that affords you to play 2 up front nowadays because if you go 4-4-2 you get overrun in midfield. The problem that people were saying is that they were talking about how a 3-5-2 formation tends to only work for a short period of time for teams because I don't remember what they quite said, but it's an easy. Once you learn that team, remember Wenger did it. He switched to it, and it worked brilliantly for like 5, 6, 7 games. Conte did it at Chelsea, and it worked for a while. But then they all revert away from it because teams they can work you out a little bit easier in that formation. So I get your point about creating 2 strikers, but it's very difficult to find a long-term system that can cope with the trials and tribulations of modern-day football, according to experts. Now I'm not one, that's why I can't articulate. Right,
again, for me,
it's a difficult one.
From a purely fans point of view, again, I'm not an expert. I don't know as much as all these coaches do, but I just feel that football formations are very fluid. I think we've now gone to a stage where it's very midfield heavy now, and everybody wants really to be focused as a midfielder. So the midfielders do a lot of the attacking.
Not enough running.
The inside force, but I just feel that you can be really fluid. You can still have Aubameyang and Lacazette as your 2 guys when you're attacking, but when you're defending, they can come and pack the midfield. So you don't have to be so rigid in how you set up because how you are attacking is very different from how you are the defending. I just think that Aubameyang having someone he works well with closer to him will make Arsenal a very dangerous team on the attack.
I do agree with the hypothesis.
For me, if you're getting the results like today, I think a draw was the minimum Arsenal would have wanted against Spurs. You want to go win that game against Liverpool in that form that they're in. You want to win at home, but you take a draw. Like, I can't then look at it and say, you know what, Emery, you got it wrong. You should be playing them together because, it may not have necessarily worked. So I hear what you're saying, and I hear that it could work. And I do, like I said, how many big games are there in the season? 5 at home, 5 away, and the rest, the amount of games there are to play. I think we will be seeing Aubameyang and Lacazette together. But I just think in the big games, and I think also like it was Man City, Chelsea at the start of the year, Liverpool, Spurs, and Manchester United. Lacazette, I'm pretty sure was on the bench for all 5. So he's obviously decided that Aubameyang is going to be the guy to play up top in the big games.
Yeah, it looks that way. Ramon, really appreciate your call, mate. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks a lot. And well done for wearing the Man United shirt. I think, confidence. I like that. Confidence.
Do you know what it comes down to? I own a few United shirts. I tend to wear them most when we're going through turmoil. Because what I get sick and tired of are these Man United fans who, I heard someone tweet something today, and he was actually going to the game. He just looked at his Twitter feed, his pictures, he goes regularly. He's like, if I turn up and McTominay's playing, I'm walking out. And I just think...
Yeah, I see that.
For me, I look at it and I just think, ooh, it doesn't sit right with me. Or you get the other types of football fans at all clubs. Their team loses a game, they feel embarrassed, and they want to hide. Where for me, how many of the famous football fans on social media do you see that go hiding when their team loses? Other than the ones that are sort of happy that the team have lost because they get to bask in the glory of their own team losing. Like most football fans, they hide, and I'll never hide. My club's awful at the moment, but I wouldn't change them for the world because I love them. Appreciate you noticing, mate.
How much? What did you spend that £10 on, by the way?
That's a good question. It probably went down on some good jerk chicken and rice.
Oh, you know what? At least it was spent well. Don't worry. Well done. Well done.
When you're ready for another bet, I'm ready.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll win it next time, though.
Wait, no, pounded yam.
No, I didn't tell you.
No, what?
Pounded yam and goosey soup.
I don't know. What's that?
Pounded yam and a goosey soup.
None of that.
We don't have that in my house.
Eba, obono.
Give that to the
I
Nigerian
had tomato soup, oxtail, vegetable.
I'll cook you some Nigerian food, man. Don't worry.
I'm alright, bro.
Can you
I like
Hey,
Caribbean.
Ramon, stop laughing, man. Why laughing at this joke, man?
I like Caribbean food. I like Chinese food.
Man,
I like Mexican. That's good food.
Nigerian
what
food
does
is the best
casserole
food in the
fall
world.
under?
Casserole.
Yeah.
But the casserole I made today was English, but English with a little twist to it still, because I'm a good cook. But Nigerian, no, I don't know Nigerian food, bruv.
It's the best.
Nigerian food.
I don't not cook. But if I want to go on a diet, I'll have it. I
the
tried
best.
some once.
Look, it's your choice. It's the best food in the world. It's the best
It's
food in the
not
world.
in the best in the world.
No,
It
it
just
is.
isn't. No.
No, it is.
Your jollof is not even the best, or how?
It is. Look,
Ghanaian food is much better than Nigerian
No,
food.
it's not. Today,
It is.
You're about to start a culture war, bro.
No, but it's not. I prefer Ghanaian food. My boy Tony, what's that name, brother? His mum used to make.
my ear, bro.
What are you munching in there, bruv? Is it?
Jovan, you're supposed to be technically doing
Ramon,
that.
cheers, mate. Thank you very much, man. Take care.
Technically, Bobby Itzy, man, doing your technical
My
stuff, man.
favourite, but in terms of just balancing it out, my favourite singer in the whole world is Nigerian.
Who's that?
Shade.
No, Lamar Obika. You know? If there's any justice, my favourite.
Sing it, boy.
Do you know how bad it is? Not how bad it is. I've got every album and every single, like the hard copies. I've been to every live tour he's done. I think he's done like 6. But I go to like 2 or 3 shows.
He's done 6 live tours.
Man's done some stuff, you know. He's actually the second highest selling UK black artist of all time.
Who's first?
Craig David.
No, Seal.
Oh.
Craig David might have actually overtaken that since he said his comeback. Actually, this was prior to the comeback, so he's done good. But he just a lot of his last couple of albums have been a bit more sort of independent, but they're actually better than the ones that were on Sony's records. But yeah, he's my favourite singer ever since the Fame Academy days. My boy, I nearly got to meet him once, and I was gutted I didn't. I went. We had to. This is the worst.
This
bit,
guy's a fanboy.
No, I love the guy.
No,
right?
no. You know Thomas Lamar, the Atletico Madrid player.
Yeah.
That's why I said the only Lamar I recognize is the R&B singer.
Yeah,
That's what I always say.
So I was this show he was doing at this like little boutique sort of place, and I messaged him and I was like, I don't know what I was chatting to him, but he follows me on Twitter. It was nice. I was having a little chat with him, and he said, "I'll come meet me afterwards, have a drink, right?" Anyway, so I know we've got a call coming on in a minute, but I'll keep telling my story. And I was waiting to meet him, right? But then there's this really. I was kind of just chill. They said, "I'll be out in a minute, and then we'll take you upstairs to like the private bar area. You can have a drink with him." I kind of went up to one of the people working there. I was like, can you have a chat? I felt awkward, like saying, oh yeah, I'm here to see him. It felt weird. But they went up to say, yeah, he's expecting
Sound
you.
like a groupie,
Like,
fam.
yeah, but like I didn't want to, like, do you know my thing is, like, I've never gone up to like a celebrity that either that I respect or I know, and I never ask for pictures. I never, like, oh my God. I just, if I do speak to him, I shake the hand and say, I like what you do, and leave him alone. I like that. But I was going to meet him, but I didn't want to seem like that. But there was this weird kid there that kept, every 5 minutes, when's he ready? When's he ready to see us? And he was the same age as me, sort of, you know, in his late 20s, right?
What?
But he was like, he was making it so awkward. And then Lamar's family came out. His dad was there, his brother, I think his missus. And he's like, oh, he started kind of shouting at them. But he's standing next to me. I'm like, they think we're together. So I made an excuse and left because I was embarrassed to end up walking up the stairs with this guy because I was
why,
like,
man?
no, because from my point of view, I wanted to shake his hand. I did want to have a drink with him. I wanted to have a little chat about some of the songs I liked, what he's up to. I just wanted to meet the guy and be normal. But this guy was so like hyped.
You can't leave though, man.
I had to. I would, because they would have associated me with him.
You know, I mean,
The boy was white as well. They thought we were brothers, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I couldn't be dealing with that.
I mean, it could be awkward, especially if you just go. It's a weird vibe to have. Yeah,
I
know,
get it, but just
I would have left.
take a couple steps to the left. You don't have to leave.
I took at 10 and walked out.
Flipping
Got a
hell,
taxi
man.
back from Shepherd's Bush. Anyways, we got Claude on the phone. Let's get Claude on the
It's
air.
time to go.
Oh, that's my guy.
Claude, welcome back to FanPark Live, mate. How you feeling?
Hello, Terry. Is that Terry?
Yes, mate.
It's not gonna be me.
Hello, mate. Oh, Jesus. What a game, eh?
Yeah, mate, calamitous, entertaining. How are you feeling as a gooner, though? Do you think you should have got the points, or do you feel like a draw was probably a fair result?
I thought because I actually said today before the game, I think we'd get a draw today because I thought everyone's going on, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But I thought that Sunday's game would take a lot out of us, and it proved in the end. I think our sharpness wasn't there at the end. But I thought we played all right. I thought you played well as well. So I've got Ty here. He's saying that Martial took a dive for that free kick you got. Is that right?
Yes.
Maybe not. I don't know. He got caught and he went down easy. But you know my viewpoint, Claude. All teams have divers in them, so I don't discuss them anymore.
No, but I mean, a fair result, don't you?
Yeah, do you know what? Like, it's interesting. Both teams actually had proper chances that they missed or had saved, and all the goals came from mistakes. To be honest with you, like there wasn't like a goal that was scored that was sort of where you felt anybody really deserved it. So
weird game.
Very, very strange game. I think both teams United are in poor form, as you say. I think Arsenal's Derby Day exploits took a lot out of them, but a point away from home at Old Trafford, I think Arsenal will take that. Still unbeaten.
Well, of course, exactly. I mean, we've made a lot of progress in since the start of the season. So, it's a work in progress, and I'm quite proud of the team tonight. I mean, and remember we did lose 2 key players as well through injury during the game, but I'm happy with it. But I was a bit upset the way we gave that second goal away. But that's part of the mentality that needs to be fixed. I think the concentration after just scoring a goal. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I suppose you're happy with a point, are you?
Mate, I've given up like hope this season in terms of I don't have any expectations to win any more games. That the club's in a complete mess. We've got a manager that I don't think wants to be there. We've got players that are, for me, not giving their absolute. They're not giving anything on the pitch.
They fought for you today.
Well, no,
mate.
the starting lineup did. Do you know what it reminded me of, actually? Today, the first 60 minutes or so reminded me of Man United versus Young Boys, where we weren't taking chances, but we were chasing, pressing. There was energy. For me, there are a few players, like Lukaku, maybe one of them. Pogba's definitely another. I don't think Pogba wants anything to do with his club or Jose Mourinho. And when I watch him on the football pitch, for me, he is not doing what everybody else out there was doing today. He's not running. He's not pressing. He's not putting. Like if there was a 50-50 tackle that you could get hurt in, I don't think Pogba would go in for it right now. And that for me isn't the kind of dedication I want. Equally, I hold him accountable for that. But I understand how he's feeling because Jose has also made the situation so toxic. But the people to blame are the board because they have continued to let this situation simmer. They need to make a decision. It's either Jose, we're backing you. Pogba and anyone who follows Pogba can go, or Jose, you're going, but the players need to step up, or get rid of all of them. Like, they've got to make a stand soon as a board. Yeah. They're just letting this situation drag on and fester, and it's stupid.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think it was a good game, and now we're trying to get out of Manchester. That's a joke. Anyway.
Yeah,
All the best, boys, and
mate.
speak to you soon, yeah?
Appreciate that. Take care, Claude.
Cheers,
See you later,
Claude,
mate.
man. Stay safe.
Take care.
Cheers.
Take care, boys.
Cheers. Do you know where I'd love to see Claude? I'd love to see him on I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here.
Oh, mate.
He would be. Do you know why? Because a lot of people don't know. We know Claude quite well. He's done a lot of shows in here with us, and he is one of the most genuinely nice people you could ever meet. There isn't like people see him rant and they see him get angry sometimes on social media.
He's passionate.
But in terms of when you sit and have a chat with him, and me and him spoke about my family, his family. Like he's a brilliant guy. I think a show like I'm a Celebrity
will bring out the best.
people would really see what he's like and interestingly, there are other YouTubers who I think shows I would like to see them on those shows because it would show everybody what knobheads they are.
Like who?
I ain't gonna say who because
Like
I'll start a
who?
war, bruv.
Like who?
But end of the day, like Claude is a genuinely good guy. There's loads of good guys. I say people that I get on with, like from other, like he's great. Flex is a real good guy. Like me and Flex had a lot of good conversations. DT, every time I've chatted to DT, and me respectful. Say some weird shit in there, bruv. He said, "Oh, okay, cool. Troops is cool as well, actually.
Like Johnny Guns.
Troops is a good guy. All those guys are kind of cool. There's this guy though called Malcolm. You know who Malcolm is?
Oh yeah,
Malcolm. If you don't know, Malcolm's a YouTuber that uses a fake name.
Wow.
He uses the fake name Have Hope. His real name is Malcolm.
What?
Nino.
Malcolm. Malcolm, what's his surname? Malcolm.
Malcolm X.
Look, man. Let me look. All I'm going to say is that
Malcolm.
United are coming 6th if Mourinho is still the manager, or 7th, 6th max. Arsenal, as I said at the beginning of the season, are coming top 4. Aubameyang is going to finish top scorer. Torreira is the best all-round player in the Premier League currently right now, and Morata is a brick. Now, when I say that Torreira is the best player, defensive work, passing work, and in the last third, tell me a player who is better than him in all aspects of the game: tackling, defending, passing, and in the last
I don't
third.
think that's fair.
Because you can't do that. Because you can't. That means you're excluding all goalkeepers instantly. Dumb.
What do you mean by it? No. But okay. Outfield players.
Outfield players.
Who
okay.
is the?
But
even then, that's not fair.
You're excluding defenders.
Torreira. Well, yeah, there you go.
Doesn't make any sense.
No. But
just midfielders and attackers.
Okay, then fine. As far as midfielders go, okay, let's just do it based on position. Which midfielder is better at both ends of the pitch than Torreira? Based on form right now, not talent. Based on form right now.
First of all, I think another question to ask is:
I think midfielders. I wouldn't disagree.
How many other midfielders are in the same positions that he is? Is Torreira even in the final third as much as you think he is? He scored his first goal at the weekend.
Oh, no. I'm saying that.
But also, I mean,
his quality defensively in the final third and in the midfield are all on a either high or pretty high level.
He's absolute quality, and if you're saying he's the best midfielder on form in the league right now, I wouldn't disagree. I think Fernandinho potentially, but I think that I would agree with you. I think he's brilliant. But I just on your first comment that the best overall player in the league right now, I think is potentially a stretch because I think Raheem Sterling's that guy. And Raheem Sterling was obviously instructed to do. Again, you've also got in terms of your comment, you've also got to take into consideration what the manager's instructions are.
Tracking back. Oh,
yeah.
Sterling will press, which is a defensive part of the game.
You have to run to press, isn't it? But running's bad.
Sterling, boom. We've just
No.
Bye.
Sterling.
Bye.
No.
Bye.
No.
Bye.
I'm not hitting Sterling.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask
Morata's a brick. Can we talk about Morata? Just 1 minute on Morata.
I don't want to talk about Morata.
1 minute.
He's irrelevant.
Just 1 minute.
What's that? What does this have to
Just
do?
1 minute on Morata.
What's
That's what I ask.
What's your opinions and viewpoints on Pep Guardiola's style of football?
Quick
overview, like 10 seconds. Great, good, bad. What?
I'm not a fan, but I admire it. If I was a player, I would hate to play under Pep Guardiola, but I have to admire how amazing.
Do you think it's effective?
Extremely effective.
Do you have to run when you press and hunt the ball in packs?
Bye.
No, of course.
Bye.
But do you know what's the most important aspect? You know what's the most important aspect?
Nino.
If you're not a good passer of the ball, get off the team. You can run as much as you
I know.
want. If you're technically not good at passing, he doesn't even want to look at you.
That's not even that
Do you
true.
know
He doesn't even want to look at you. And Hazard is top 4. Thank you.
But mate,
Number 4.
But I understand your point.
Soon to be 3
but
next week.
You got to remember, your argument is void because nobody has stated that the only attribute you need to be a good footballer is ability to run. Otherwise, Theo Walcott might have been world class.
Running, everybody needs to run, but my gosh, this is a skill-based sport. Let's not talk about running in football.
Can I give you an example?
Come on, guys.
But equally, what you said, if you play for Pep Guardiola and you were the best passer in the world, but you didn't follow his instructions, and especially as a forward player, and attacking packs and press and run at people, you would also be dropped.
Is pressing really that hard? Really?
But if you
don't make me leave again,
But
please.
if you don't do it,
I'll fight you. I'll fight you tonight.
Is pressing really that hard?
Yes, it is.
Passing technically and high degree of passing is far more difficult.
No one is stating which one is harder. The point is, if you don't follow that nuance of his Pep Guardiola's instructions, he will drop you.
True.
So it's important. No one said it's the most important. You just stated that someone running wouldn't be the difference between them starting a game and not. Now, I made and in some people's systems, you need to run and be a good passer and be creative and not relinquish possession. If you take any of those things out, you may be dropped. I'm just giving you logical reasons as to why certain players aren't playing for certain energies.
The point I'm making is that Martial should never be dropped because he's
That's nonsense.
He's United's best player.
Everybody can be dropped. If you create a world
for
where
Lukaku.
everybody can be dropped. Who for? I might disagree with, but one should have...
Your star player, you make concessions for your star player because he's your star player.
Not if they're not following instructions.
I can't lie. What you're saying is a bit mad though, because that means that you can't drop Ronaldo.
You can't.
Or Messi.
No, you can. What I'm saying,
Messi walks around the pitch
what I said,
at times.
What I'm saying is, anyone can be dropped. Anyone can be dropped.
Okay, but you can't drop Messi. I can't lie.
Messi can do whatever he wants. You're not dropping him.
But you're making the reason. Do you know why Messi and Ronaldo never get dropped? It's because their standards haven't dropped for over a decade.
All right, let's look at it from an Argentinian perspective. If Messi continues to play and he's a hindrance to the rest of the team,
then he should be dropped. Whether another manager makes that decision or not is irrelevant. For me, I think you create a very bad atmosphere at a football club if you have a player who is undroppable. Because it means they can go through. I mean,
even if he's your best, he's your best player.
Yes, because he might not be performing at the best. He might be in bad form. And most players take Messi and Ronaldo out of the argument because they are freaks of nature.
This is the issue with United. I don't think Mourinho, and maybe this is the thing to Mourinho. Mourinho has not made it clear that no, Martial, I believe you are our best player. He's just lumping him with everyone else, which should be the case.
How do you know that?
By how he's been treating him. Martial should never sniff the bench for United. Should never sniff the bench. Never.
I disagree with the notion that somebody's undroppable or shouldn't be near the bench. I think lots of things, none of us know the true answers, but to say that somebody should be undroppable, I think is a very dangerous and slippery slope to go down. It's massive.
Even if you're as good as Ronaldo or Messi, or Marcelo and Hazard.
No, because if you're Messi, say you're as good as Messi. Say there's someone born tomorrow, he goes on to be as good as Messi.
That's my son. Yeah.
If he then goes through a 3, 4, 5, 10 game period where he's underperforming, then potentially time on the bench is good for him. Those two didn't do that. That's why they're freaks, because they're the only players I've seen that have been at that level, at the highest level for over a decade.
Yeah,
they haven't dipped.
Goal scorer and great player.
And both goal scorers, both great players.
No.
And if you drop, then that's one thing. But secondly, one thing about Ronaldo and Messi, again, for me, stands them out above not all other players, but with their quality as well, is that they follow their manager's instructions and they work hard for their team. They're great leaders. It's all part of it. I'm sure if Messi, well, maybe Messi, I don't know. I would hate to be part of a setup where Messi could not perform, not behave, not follow instructions, and never be at risk of losing his position in the team. I don't think Messi is that guy. I think there's an arrogance about him and about Ronaldo, but I still look at them working hard. But if their levels dropped, I think they would lose their place in teams. Because there's going to come a point where both of them dip and they don't play regularly anymore.
Neymar's probably a better example, but yeah.
But them two are just freaks. That's hard because they just haven't dipped consistently. But nobody for me should be undroppable. And if they are, and you set that precedent, I mean, imagine how you would feel if you play in the same position, say, as Martial. Martial's been in... Look, I love him, by the way, but he's in really bad form, hasn't scored in 5 or 6 games, hasn't performed in 5 or 6 games. You come in for him, and you bang in a hat-trick one game, and you're like 10 out of 10, 2 or 3 games running, and then you're just dropped again. That then creates an environment what can I do?
Remember, that's how he felt, though.
No. If Martial performs really badly, 100%, yeah. But he's not performed to a level where, like, you are so horrible, you should be in the bench. Hence why he has not come anywhere near close to a performance where you're playing so badly, you need to come off the bench. I just think like he's now at a level where this guy shouldn't be holding the bench. He's the best player in the United team.
He is one of our best players.
No, the best player.
He's one of Man United's best players. He's absolutely brilliant. There's no doubt about that. But the point I'm making is nobody should be undroppable. I think that's a bad precedent to set at your club. It singles somebody out. Again, you don't like other examples, but in any environment, whether it's a sports team or
but in every sports team, we know who our star player is, and we accept it. When we
I don't. No.
When we go into training, we're like, nah, that guy's the best player.
No, but that's nonsense. It creates a really bad atmosphere. It can create a really bad atmosphere that's poisonous, and I don't agree with it. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Please smash that like button. Take care of yourselves. God bless.
Peace out.
Bye.
Why not come up with a football team? Why not try and do it for real? Oh my God!
So go and embarrass them now.
Some of them I won't be getting a Christmas card from.
We're back, all right?
But if you want to see bad, man, you'll learn, innit?
The beating. God, man, how many more times?
When I'm at my best, I'm a whole different animal.
Good football, lad. Shout! Ow! Ow!
Scully, 5 minutes from coming on. Simple as that. It needs me involved.
Yo, speaking business, better mind your own. Talking loud, then rewind your tone. Futuristic, been setting trends. You late, you probably got a house phone. Nerd rap with the money track. Put the whole city on my back. Take a lot of cats around the world. If you act up, you ain't coming back. Yo, you don't want no beef with Fiki. Spit it, I'm spraying graffiti.